Hello everybody and welcome to Attunement Tarot. My name is Robin and we will be doing a pick-a-pile reading this evening for the next 3 months. It's a 3-month forecast for October, November, and December. Okay, last quarter of this year. And so I'll introduce the piles and you can pick whatever pile you feel most drawn to. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, feel free to watch that reading as well, okay? And the timestamps will be in the description box below, so let's get started. Pile number 1, I'm hoping that you can see this. This is a labradorite. Maybe it's, I don't know, sorry. This is a labradorite carved stone with an owl and a skull in the middle. It's pretty cool. Ooh, see, yes. You can see that flash. Okay. And that is going to be for this first pile of the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest, I believe. And that's by Barbara Moore. This pile number 2 is Flower Amethyst. And that is with the Tarot of the Ethereal Visions, or the Ethereal Visions Tarot. Pile number 3 is a citrine crystal. Like a AAA grade, like ultra clear. It's really, really nice. Citrine. And that is with the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, pile number 3. Okay, pick your pile and I will see you at your reading. Hello there, pile 1. If you picked the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest and this labradorite owl with carved skull here, this is your reading. Pardon the squeaky chair. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into the next 3 months for you. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and pick a card for your current energy, and then we will look into October, November, and December. Okay. And I will timestamp the blessing and the shuffling, and then I will timestamp when the reading actually starts. So if you want to skip this part, feel free to do that. The timestamps are in the description box below. If you don't know where the description box is, it's under the video. Just tap more and scroll down and you'll see the timestamps there. Okay. I'd like to invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 1 for their greatest and highest good. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, very nice. So your current energy is the 8 of Wands. Okay. Now this is a lot of messages, a lot of communication. You could even be planning for travel at this time. You know, after all, we're coming up on the very end of the year, so you could be, you know, making those early travel plans for holiday season, things of that nature, the turn of the calendar year. And so in October, we have the Empress, and then November, we have the Death, and December, we have Two of Cups, okay? So let's go ahead and look into October here. All right. So it looks like in the month of October, you have a lot going on. You really do. Okay, pile number one. You are approaching it. I mean, and this is a major arcana here with the Empress, which is beautiful, right? So the overarching experience for you, the way you are taking all of the aspects and all of the details of your life and the day-to-day things, you're really taking it all in and, you know, growing things that you want to grow, like basically investing your time. You're very nurturing right now. You're going to be, you're growing things and doing everything that you need to do with a sense of purpose. Okay, pile number one, you're doing it with a sense of purpose. You're doing it with a sense of the greater good right now. Okay, because we see that with the Ten of Wands, you're very, very busy. You're very busy. You could even be working towards the end of the year, like, you know, financials or what have you, depending on what line of work you are in. Sometimes it gets to be crunch time towards the end of the year for people when it comes to work. But this is directly tied to your legacy, okay? It is directly tied to how much you stand to earn. This is definitely in the realm of what it is that you do for work. There could be, and you're taking your family into account here, because you do everything that you do, and you carry the weight, and you manage the load, and all of those things for the purpose of nurturing your family, however your family looks to you, your community, okay? Now, this can come with, I'm going to adjust some crystals here, okay? This can come with indecision or at least juggling. I mean, granted, you're really juggling a lot. You have the Ten of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So, you know, throughout this whole time, which is a very busy time, but very well intentioned and very well focused, I feel like, you could, you know, when you're coming down the path, be presented with, or you could encounter, you know, one way or another way of doing something. All right. So with the Ten of Pentacles, with everything here, however, whatever you're going to choose and how you're juggling, and then what you ultimately decide, you know, decision making along the way, it's all tied to the Empress here. One thing's for sure, you don't have to track anything down at this time. Like, a lot of stuff is coming toward you. And this could even be about what do you let in and what do you let drop, okay? This is a time of prioritizing what is most important. So let's say if you're working, there's all these different things you got to do. You're very, very good and very skilled at prioritizing the things that are the most important and going from there. Kind of like your own little flow chart, so to speak, okay? So let's look into November. Yeah, November is a bit different. This is very interesting. So it starts off with the Death. So something comes to an end in the month of November, okay? And this ending could have been a long time coming. It may or may not have to do with work. I actually see you being very successful with work, all right? You bring a lot here. You just bring so much of yourself, and you're very, very valuable, okay? You're very valuable. So I don't get the sense that this is an ending with that area of your life. However, something is ending that has to do with your resources, and you, once it ends, once it shifts, there is a reassessment of like where everything is for you. This could be like, say, a partner leaving, because we have the Ten of Swords here. This could be, okay, I don't want to rule it out entirely, even though I don't feel like this is work because you just seem so valuable. What came to me here with the Two of Pentacles is that since it is so challenging, or just very like a lot for you, you could even be on the precipice of crossing a bridge here, right? You're going from one area to another, and you're like, okay, juggling this stuff. This can be about decision making. Do I stay? Do I go? Right? There could be some things, you know, coming to the end of the year. I think people really get into this retrospective place, and you know, with the fall then giving way to winter, things are beginning to die off. Things then go underground, and so that they could be reborn again and be refreshed in the spring, like brand new. Okay, so that could be what's going on for you as well. So I don't want to count that out. So in November, something ends, and irrevocably. Okay, this makes you really think about what it is that you have already, what you possess, and tightening up the belt here. You could also feel like you don't really want to share with other people maybe what's going on with you, or it's like you're holding things close to the vest here in the month of November. And rightfully so, because whatever this was ended. It was something that you have stressed about in the past. It could have been a long time coming. I call the Ten of Swords, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. It's nothing like the Tower where it can be sudden and unexpected. This is like, you know, we have the Ten of Swords, but we also have the Ten of Wands, right? So a lot of times this is when we hang on and hang on and hang on, and in an environment that is just so incredibly toxic for us, and we could be getting, you know, hurt over and over again, right? And so in the month of November, that all ends. Whatever it is that's been hurting you, whatever it is that you've been worrying about, pile number one, it's finally done. And, you know, that can really bring on a lot of worry. You're trying to tighten up the belt here. But in the middle, we have options. You have a lot of options. And look at this. There's all these doors. It's kind of like those old game shows. Like, are you going to choose door number 1 or door number 2? It's like, what's behind each door? But you can't pick all of them, right? And so you do have a lot of options here, and I really actually like how it's all surrounded with greenery. You're in, like, where you're going, it's really only going to contribute to your growth, okay? Because you're leaving something that, if you look at this tree, it's really in the time of lost a lot of its leaves, all right? So here you have a lot of options. Since you are very valuable and you are very good at what you do, it won't be long till you pick whatever it is that you need to pick. Now that's reading it in the terms of a job, okay? This could even be having to do with a partner, because we see partnership in December. It's kind of coming. So, you know, let's just say another way is that you were partnered with somebody else and then that relationship ends. This I typically associate with some level of toxic, or I don't want to say toxic, but painful, repetitive dynamics that really make you worry, make you question everything, and it involves deceit, it involves backstabbing, it involves things of that nature. Okay. Now, if it is in some way a relationship, then you could have been counting on their income as well. That's just another way to read this energy. It's a possibility. I don't see any cups here, but I just wanted to let that be known. The other thing is that you are going to be investing your time and energy into making something grow here, all right? It will have growth, but this is also an invitation to reevaluate what you're doing along the way. What works, what doesn't. Maybe you go through this door and you find that there wasn't much behind there, and you kind of like reevaluate and go over here. You know what I mean? So this is a lot of what do they call that? It's kind of an experiment, you know. You try it, see what works, see what doesn't. Okay, so let's look at December. Okay, so in the month of December, you are working really hard. You know, you're practicing your craft, doing really well there. You have a level of mastery at something that you are focusing on. And I really like how the Empress and the Eight of Pentacles are in opposite corners, because it kind of comes full circle. You know, the Empress, whatever she invests her time, she's very creative, okay? This archetypal energy, very creative, and she invests into things that are going to grow. And usually there's a lot of abundance there, okay? Here we see there's an abundance of, you know, money, but also busyness. With this, you're really focusing on your craft and on your tasks and the things that you have mastery of, all right? There is a Two of Cups here. There is another person involved. We do see worry. You could even have a child involved as well. There is worry here, though, in the middle. This could indicate that in a way to work with this energy that you're pouring yourself into your work. Okay. Another way to read this energy is that whatever has happened has put you in touch with a very vulnerable place. And this is an invitation to get back in touch with that inner child part of you, to see if that needs some healing, okay? You know, take it as it resonates. If it doesn't, then, you know, that's fine. But that's just something that comes up for me as a reader for people. With the Two of Cups being right below the Death, that, you know, there can be something lingering here, right? There's an energy of an ending. There's an energy of some sort of betrayal and worry and strife. Also, a lot of success with work. It seems that when you are left to your own devices, to be, you know, kind of the master and commander of your own ship and really make decisions for yourself, that things go very well, okay? Even though it's busy. I also notice how this child here looks a lot like that child there. They both have like this curly hair and like a similar shaped face. So, you know, you could have a child to think about that you are nurturing, that you're tending to, and you do what you do for them. You do what you do for your family here, okay? So overall, I mean, it appears that you bring so much to what you invest in, your time and energy. And then there's a shakeup in November. And that shakeup may open up the space for you to invest in maybe some sort of side projects or something along those lines. And then in December, which is commonly a time of coming back together with significant others, things of that nature, there's an underlying hum of some worry or stress or sleepless nights, something along those lines. With this energy here, I really wonder if this is the same person. if this person is involved here. This really could be a friend or somebody close to you that's helping you through this. That's another way to read this energy. So honestly, pile number one, this looks like you're working through things as they come, doing very well at it, managing your stress, managing all of what life has to throw your way very well externally. Internally, in your private moments, I feel like you might hold a lot more stress that you don't talk about or share with others. You know, on this end we see two people kind of seeing eye to eye on something, and then over here we see somebody all on their own working and focusing on something, right? Like focusing on their craft, and that's, you know, underneath this Ten of Swords. So I feel like the way in which you deal with this swords energy, when we get to the end, there's a lot of worry. But then once you get to the end, it's like, well, now you know, right? Now you know. And I feel like a lot of the people in pile number one, or that have picked pile number one, are probably internal processors, right? Really process privately. So this could be an invitation from Spirit to say, if there is somebody in your life that you want to connect with that can have your back, then do so. Because the Four of Pentacles is also a reminder from Spirit that you can ask for help if you need it. A lot of times that character in the Four of Pentacles is just kind of holding things close to the vest, just holding everything close, keeping things stuffed. You know, and we see all these pies, and all of these pies are like really full and stuffed. Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull 3 cards for the advice here. Moon, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Cups. I love that for you. The thing is a brand new tangible opportunity is coming your way, but with the moon here, it's not fully here yet, okay? It is on its way. It is on its way, but we can't see it. There is a lot of fear around whether or not a new opportunity is coming in. And in the meantime, there's an invitation from Spirit here for you to really get in touch with your childlike wonder, because the thing is that something's coming to an end here with the death. It has caused you stress, all right? And when something ends, it leaves wide open, unfettered space. And that's what I love about this Page of Cups here, because it really speaks to like this wide-eyed wonder and awe about what's possible here. So this is an invitation from Spirit for you to really think about what it is, you know, and get in touch with that part of yourself. Like, there's creativity here, there's Empress energy here. What is it that you want to do? What is it that really feeds your soul, you know, just like really warms your heart and brings you a sense of inspiration and wonder? And that opportunity is on its way. It's not here yet, but it's on its way, okay? So let us go ahead and pick, I want to pick an animal card for you guys. Heron, patience. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. Very nice. Be patient for this opportunity that is on its way to you. You can't see it right now. There's no need to borrow trouble by worrying, but have patience. It is on its way. Okay, that is all I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I would, if this really spoke to you, I would love it for you to like, share, and subscribe, all the things, and that would really help. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye. Hello, pile 2. If you picked the flower amethyst palm stone, this is your reading, and the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So let's get into it. Now this reading is going to be, as I said in the intro, an overview of the next 3 months. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with your current energy, and then we'll look into October, November, and December. Okay? And all the timestamps are in the description box below. If you want to click past the shuffling, feel free to do so. There is more shuffling a lot of times in the middle of the reading. That stuff, I usually talk while I'm shuffling. But be that as it may, if you want to skip this intro shuffling, you can. Okay, all right. Okay, I'd like to invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 2. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, current energy, 2 of Pentacles, October, 10 of Cups, November, Ace of Swords, December, 3 of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. All right. More about the 10 of Cups, please. Boo, 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 boo. I'm going to put this over here. Okay. These cards are really big. Here, I'm going to adjust some things. Okay. Okay. All right. So in the month of October, we have the 10 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. A lot of these cards came out in the previous reading as well, so you may have been drawn to this pile as well, pile number 2, or you may have been drawn to pile number 1. Be that as it may, let's get on with it. So, you know, right now you're juggling a lot, okay? You're really going through some decisions, some very important decisions, weighing things about, you know, one thing or another having to do with your tangible life, okay? Just you could be quite busy, or you're just trying to kind of weigh your options here. October, there's a focus on family. You're really paying close attention to what you have, all of your finances, your time, your energy. You're really trying to conserve, all right? You're tightening up the belt, and it would make sense that a lot of people are tightening up the belt right now, all right? Whatever it is that you're investing your time into, you may not have seen the yields that you would like to just yet, okay? However, this is an invitation to go back to the drawing board to invest in another way. Maybe if you were overwatering, you need to water a little bit less, or, tend to certain things around it. Just try to tweak the action plan, okay? That's an invitation. I see that this is all very important to you, and rightfully so, because there are other people that you're taking care of, right? It's not just you here. You have your family, you have your community, you have others that are involved. And with the Ten of Swords at the end here, maybe you experienced a job loss, and now you're trying to build a business, and it's not really taking off as much as you would like, or it hasn't fully taken off just yet. So therefore you're keeping things, wrapped, tightened up around the belt, like I said. However, I see the Ten of Swords in this reading here. Like the feeling that I get is that this is a worry, and this is more of what it feels like. Say if there's a setback on some level where it didn't quite come through, it could hit you very hard, and it could feel like, it has a larger impact. This could be so much more worry than what the situation warrants. Or you could have been betrayed by somebody or something that's not showing themselves here. If this is a case of that you lost a job and now you have to start over, you could be feeling the echo and the reverberation from that loss, okay? But with this narrative here of really just holding tight to things, being mindful, you're dedicated to your family or to whoever it is that you work for, that's close to you. I get the sense that you're trying to not let this show. Okay, so let's look at November. Okay. November. So there's a truth that you're contending with here. November definitely gets a bit more challenging. Work may have picked up, so in a way that's a real positive thing, okay? This can also be read as you continuing to work very hard to get things off the ground. The Three of Wands indicates that there is a stepping through a gateway of some kind. I get the sense that in November there is a revelation where you come into, you get in touch with, it's like, aha, that's it. That's what's going to make this grow. Or that's the answer, right? Because in November, you're doing a lot of things. So if we are not working or we're not holding this, this is about having to do a lot and shoulder a lot and carry a lot and maybe even have, a different identity to a lot of different people, wear a lot of hats in your life, so to speak. The Seven of Wands here indicates that, you're committed, like this is the hill you're going to die on, right? And it's a reminder, an invitation from Spirit to be very clear, not every person is an enemy, not, it's like if you have a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. It's like one of those energies where you're so determined that you can be quite distrustful of those who come your way. Because we need to see these Six of Wands coming your way, right? Are they a gaggle of fans? Is it an angry mob? Or is it just a bunch of sticks sticking out of the ground? We don't know. So there could be a bit of an edge to you in the month of November where you might be pretty defensive, okay? Ultimately, I don't really get that that's like big potatoes for you. Of course you're stressed out here, so you could be a bit more edgy because you are focused. This could even be you being like, well, I don't want any distractions here. I need to focus my time and energy and my actions and what I'm doing. And now with this, it's like you are waiting on something to come through. I get the sense that it's like whatever this thing that you're waiting for is going to help you be able to offload some of this. Okay, that's one way to read this energy. Another way to read this energy is that, towards the end of November, you could feel as though, things have cleared up a little bit. There's more space. You could be seeing your situation through the lens of more possibility, more inspiration, because Three of Wands energy is also gateway. So you have what it takes to step through and to step forward. And what comes next is the stability of the Four of Wands, okay? And here in December, we have Three of Pentacles. So you did bring people in to help you. Up here, you're doing it by yourself, okay? You're doing it all by yourself to support these folks, and it's hard. And then you're still working alone. But then December, it's like maybe that person, maybe you called somebody from across the miles, an old childhood friend or some sort of old business partner or somebody, and you're like, hey man, I have this really great opportunity, come on out, let's do this startup or whatever, right? And they're here now in December, and so there is going to be building up. Temperance, so you had to wait for this. And this was tough. This was very challenging. I do see some relief here. Some relief and some help. And then we have worry. And we also have the Five of Pentacles. So, I see this Five of Pentacles playing out in the finish here as your stress catching up with you. Because the Five of Pentacles is not just like maybe a financial setback, but it can also be a time, energy, and health setback. So with all of this working, it's like caught up with you now. Sometimes when the thing that we're waiting for finally shows up and we've been so patient, and then we can actually like relax and take a sigh of relief, that's when everything catches up with us, and maybe we get we get sick and we're down for the count for a few days, something along those lines. It catches up with you. Like you weren't allowed to be sick before. It just was not even an option. And then somebody else shows up. You're like, okay, now finally I could like lie down and just take this break that I've been needing. But now that it's a forced break, so to speak, right? And then we have the Eight of Swords. So it's kind of like there is still worry here. There is still worry here. And I will say, pile number 2, the energy of this reading is very, very similar to the energy of pile number 1. Very similar. Some of the cards are even, the same cards. It's a completely different deck. But when we pan the camera back, Is the economy and finances a very big thing for a lot of people right now? Absolutely. So it makes sense that this energy is here. Okay. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. It would appear that you get some help, and that definitely does bring relief, pile number 2, and that's really good. Another thing I'd like to say about this with the Temperance here, which I believe is your only major, the Temperance card out of all of these cards is your only major arcana. So that is very important to pay attention to. One of my teachers, she calls this the drag me to hell card because the devil comes right after it. But it's one of those energies where you are tested and tested and tested and tested again and again. And you're just having to hold the line and hold the space. And, you know, your only choice is to really make meaning of this. And, you know, going back and forth, remaining patient, taking things in stride, right? You know, temperance. You're not going to blow a gasket here or crash out. You just need to, try to keep your chill and just see things through a perspective that is going to be helpful to you and not, you know, raise your blood pressure and all of the things. It's being reforged. It's a process that's very, very challenging, but it is something that is reforging you and reshaping you to where when you come out the other side, you're like brand new. And it's deep, deep soul work. And it would appear that your external tangible world and the things that you have to do are really contributing to that. And so when you are in the thick of it, you may not be thinking about it in like this way of, oh, this is going to change me and shift things and la-di-da. But that's what's happening, right? That's what's happening. I think that, you know, maybe whatever it is for you, when you come to find your new form, it won't be until after you've come out of this that you see how this time of working and basically running the gauntlet really did, you know, shape you in some way. Okay. So that's what I see for you. Pile number 2, I'm going to pull 3 more cards as like a cards of advice, and then pull an oracle for you. When I look at this, I see, let's just see what the cards of advice say. King of Cups, 9 of Swords, got 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords. Very stressful time, okay? Listen. The advice here is to meet your challenges with as much love and compassion and tenderness for yourself and everyone in the whole situation. Because the King of Cups, typically he's surrounded by roiling waters, right? But he remains calm in the storm. Okay? Now on the inside, in your darkest hours, at night even especially, these fears and worries can pop up, okay? That's when, you know, you work with yourself and you're like, yeah, you know, of course, this would make anybody stress out. And this too shall pass type thing. It's like meeting that, don't feed the ghosts, essentially. You don't want to feed the ghosts. You want to really just meet it. I say, pretend when this happens, pretend that you are tending to a child who's having a nightmare. What would you say to the child who's having a nightmare? What would you say to the child that's worrying incessantly about, things in life? Just try to ease that child, right? And say those things to yourself. With this, I really like the Nine of Pentacles here for you. This is pre-Empress energy. You have very strong, beautiful energy on either side here. And this really does overshadow that. This is very strong medicine to use to combat that energy. The Nine of Pentacles, it's like you are ultimately, at the end of the day, remember that what you are investing in and what you're working towards and working on is all for the betterment of your home, of yourself, and, getting to a place where you feel really good in your own skin. Despite external worries and drama and like busyness and craziness, there is a center in you. And this reading to me says, stay with that center, connect with others on a very, connect with others on a level that really does connect with your heart space and feeds your spirit, like feeds your joy, because all the external stuff really just brings so much noise and so much stress. So ultimately everything that you're doing is the best thing for you and yours. And let's go ahead and pull a card here. Going to go ahead and pull from the flower, Soulflower Remedy deck. Let's see, I really like these ones. Yeah, I think that this is also an invitation from Spirit to like slow things down when it gets to be too much. Try to let people in to help you. Okay. Know that, try to even search your mind for those who can help you. Calendula, communication. Our thoughts and words have great creative power, both positive and negative, for ourselves and others. Calendula helps soothe your thoughts and words with warmth and compassion and understanding. So there is a balance between assertiveness and receptiveness in communication with others. Yes, absolutely. There's that balance. Very good. I like that a lot for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe if you feel that you'd like to support this channel. And I appreciate you so much. See you next time. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the citrine, okay, and the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, this is your reading. Okay. Go ahead and sit your little crystal right here. There we go. Boop. All right. Okay, so pile number 3. I will pull a card for your current energy, and I'll look into October, November, and December. Okay. Now, if you'd like to skip past the shuffling, feel free to do so. There's timestamps in the description box. And skip right to the reading. I'd like to invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 3. Please and thank you, Spirit. Current energy is the Knight of Cups. October, we have the Star. Lovely. November, 3 of Pentacles. December, 5 of Swords. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, so right now, Knight of Cups energy. So this is really lovely. You have, you know, a very dreamy, open heart, and you are making gestures and advances towards others in a very open way. You could even be, you know, looking for love at this time. All right, but just, or even just engaging in things that are very close to your heart that you really love and care about. But it's just a very open, romantic energy. Now, in the month of October, with the major arcana of the Star, it's like there's something that you have set your sights on, pile number 3. Okay? Whether it be connected to an actual person or even just the idea of, you know, this certain thing, this place, this wish upon a star kind of experience, there is something that you are guided by, right? It's your guiding star. And so with that, it's like, with you, this is like the hill that you're going to die on. You're very determined, okay? Excuse me. You're very determined about this. There's healing here, there's hope here, all of that, very determined. And then we have Devil energy and 8 of Cups energy, which is very interesting because I get the sense that maybe, given that you have this, the Knight of Cups, and then the Star, and this determination, excuse me again, jeez. The Devil creeps in. This is fear. This is anything that keeps you small, holds you back, binds you to something that does not allow you to move, does not allow you to grow and flourish. It keeps you stuck. It could be codependency, fear-based thinking, addiction even, in some cases, all of that. Okay. Then we have the 8 of Cups. Now we could read this a couple of ways. Is this 8 of Cups you abandoning your dream that you were once so dedicated to? Or is this 8 of Cups finally walking away from this kind of energy that's been holding you back? Okay. You could be very determined to combat this funky energy that's been keeping you tied and bound and small and not growing and all the things, right? Keeping you stifled and keeping you from reaching this star, okay? And it's kind of nice to see this Knight of Cups that moves. The Knights move in the deck. There's open heart space moving, and it's moving this way, away from this, okay? So that's interesting. That's it. I'm really hoping that the Eight of Cups is you walking away from this, whatever it is that's keeping you down, okay? November, Three of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Queen of Wands, Hanged Man. I get the sense that there is somebody that you're wanting to move towards. This could, if this, because typically the first court card that will pop out is your energy, right? We could read this as an additional aspect to your energy, or we can see this as another person coming into your space. All right. Now, with the Three of Pentacles here, this person, you could have your eye on this person. This person's very attractive, very powerful. They turn a lot of heads. They seem to really just have all kinds of confidence, right? And with the Three of Pentacles, it's like, okay, can we work together here? This could even mean like, let's build something together. But then we have the Hanged Man and the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is kind of like a harumph energy. Could the devil bring in this harumph energy? You know, maybe you see this person and you're like, oh yeah, you know, I really have my sights set on them, or my sights were set on just finding a person with my Knight of Cup, with my little cup here. And they seem so great, but, you know, maybe the devil's coming in to tell you, or to whisper the fears and the lies in your ear to say you don't have what it takes. Because then we have Five of Swords, which is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage, you know, lies, could even be arguments, self-deception. And the Hanged Man is not making a move, right? And it's also underneath the Eight of Cups. So there could even be a delay in walking away from whatever it is that has been keeping you bound, even though there's somebody here. Okay, and you're here as well, and you have a lot of hope and dreaminess and determination and a want and an idea and even a plan, right? And then the Four of Cups kind of comes in and is that, you know, the kind of a, maybe even like a, and I'm not saying this to be judgy, but like, you know, it's kind of like a woe is me, kind of a bummed out energy, where we could be viewing our circumstances in such a way that's like, well, that's not going to turn out, that's not going to turn out good anyway, because nothing ever does, you know, like we can't have anything nice, you know, that kind of stuff, right? So there is a delay here. And with the Queen of Wands also underneath the devil, there could be some distrust, right? You could even be maybe taking your time to really get the proper perspective on this person before you throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, that's another way to read this energy. Maybe there's a part of you that has been in this, kind of had this devil influence for so long that when something good comes along, you might not trust it, right? Or you might think it's above you, or it's beyond you, because, you know, sometimes the star energy can also make us feel as if something is out of reach. And we have a Knight and we have a Queen. The queen is, you know, the elevated next step, right? Queen energy is, you know, very powerful energy. Knight energy is very passionate. They can't be discounted. They can't be discounted, but they can be a little impulsive. A lot of times the Knight of Cups is just very dreamy, okay? And that can speak to that star energy, which is lovely. And so, you know, maybe there's, with this Four of Cups coming in, it's kind of like, you know, these 4 cups are kind of dousing your dreams with some cold water. Kind of like, that person's not going to dig me anyway, kind of thing. Who knows? Let's see what December looks like. But I will say, with the walking away and then the Hanged Man here, this departure is bringing tremendous spiritual growth, okay? Just like tremendous growth, because the thing is that when we're in the Hanged Man energy, we are surrendering to something that is quite painful, but we're really not moving on anything, because it's just, it's like, it's as if whatever it is that you just left needs to simmer for a little bit. It's not like you're going to like leave something and not take time to just kind of meditate and reflect on all of that. Okay, this is very powerful energy, because in order for you to move towards your star, your guiding light, there you need to have a lot of determination to shed this. And that's the action and an experience of shedding it, is walking away. And when we come away from devil energy, it's not like we're just going to be like, oh, well, now I'm like the bomb, right? Or it's like there's going to be these fears that pop in. It's not just a linear experience, that you can backslide a little bit and have this self-doubt, or even be so clouded in, you know, all the things, thinking about all the crap that you just left behind, that you may not see an opportunity that comes your way, right? That's where this Ace of Cup, this Ace here, because we got the 3 and then the 4, but it traditionally, the 4 is being offered, the 1 cup is being offered, and that's an Ace of Cups, right? So this could be you also taking time to just really process and digest everything that you're coming through, or you've come through, in order to get to a place where you can feel strong enough in yourself to accept any offers that come your way. Now in December, 5 of Swords, Page of Wands, the Moon, and the Queen of Pentacles, okay? So, the Page could indicate a child being present in the situation. The Moon is unseen things. The Moon is fears. It's being in shadow. It's the unconscious. There could be an unconscious self-sabotage here by want of, you know, impulsively following any other kinds of things that might, you know, catch your fancy or turn you on. With the Queen of Pentacles in the end there, it could be another person showing up with a lot of, you know, earthy, grounded energy. It could be an expression of yourself and needing to... It's also the mother figure, the committed mother figure. It could be a reflection of what you need to invest in yourself, because walking away from this devil energy, then doing this hangman kind of going inward experience, and then coming to it here with self-care rebuilding oneself up. All right. There could be a feeling over here of, well, maybe a way to walk away and shed this devil energy is for me to just find something else to come in to build with others. Others can help me walk away from this. Right? This could even be an expression right here of, you know, overcompensating by showing up in a very attractive way or a very kind of go-getter kind of way. So we have the devil, the Queen of Wands, and the moon. So it's like maybe the authentic sense of self is shadowed or in shadow. And there could be an unconscious way in which to hide one's vulnerabilities by coming across as very confident or maybe even overly confident. Fighting. This is harsh words being spoken. Trying to win at all costs. Someone trying to win at all costs here. But yeah, there's mystery. There's some things in the month of December that right now we don't see yet. That could even be a part of this hangman energy, is like kind of waiting for that perspective. But, you know, the perspective, the experience even of taking care of oneself or reinvesting in oneself could be hidden. Maybe the perception is too, if I, you know, maybe fake it till I make it is one way to work with this energy. There could even be a want to hide any kind of fighting if there's children involved, hiding that. This reading pile number 3 is very much about the internal world and the heart space. We have a lot of cups here. We have Aquarius energy, Capricorn energy, Pisces, Cancer. Pisces is very much of a strong presence in this energy, or in this reading. Star, the devil, the hangman, and the moon. Yeah, you're trying to come away, you're trying to shed something that has been so incredibly unhealthy for you, and it is completely tied to your vision of hope and healing, is to come away from this toxicity, whatever it is, maybe even a codependency. And so there is a surrendering to the current situation and getting a perspective on it before you make any moves. Okay? And that can be challenging to take action when you don't know. There could be a fear around taking some sort of action if you're not entirely sure what the outcome is going to be, or just what's around the next corner. But this is an invitation from Spirit to trust yourself, pay attention to your dreams and your unconscious, and to trust yourself, because the answers are within you, right? This determination isn't here for no reason. Okay, pile number 3. It's not here for no reason. This is important to come away from, and there is self-doubt as there would be. But I get the sense that in the finish, that there will be, you looking after yourself, you then becoming successful, like the Queen of Pentacles is also very, very mindful, very good with money, and just seeing things grow and nurturing and investing the time and energy into things that really are worthwhile and are very important. Okay, to them, I want to say her, it's an energy, it's the feminine side here, but to her and her family, her home, her garden, any of those things that are needing to be tended to. And I see this reading as an invitation for you to tend to yourself, even in the face of doubt. Even in the face of doubt. You do have what it takes here, right? And it is a vulnerable place, because I do see when you begin to take action, the cards that are further away from the devil energy are more youthful. There's a page, there's a knight, which is children and adolescents. So there could be something about this experience that really does put you in touch with, childhood wounding. There's apprehension a little bit. I mean, granted, the Page of Wands can be very excitable, wanting to, see what's out there and to try all the little things, and the Knight can be kind of dreamy here with the Cup. And I do feel like the invitation is also invest in what is going to help you grow, not just what's going to, impulsively slake thine thirst and feed that want or that addiction or that ego, whatever it is, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and pull 3 cards. Six of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and the Empress. Yes, we have pre-Empress energy here, and then the Empress. So this is about, give and take, okay? Generosity on some level, charitability. This is also about relationships that have, it's transactional. Okay, there are transactional relationships in your life that you're going to need to engage in, but this is for the betterment of you and of the self, right? The 9 of Pentacles is a very single energy, but it's also someone who's building their own empire and really shoring themselves up. They feel better, they feel good in their own skin, they're looking good, smelling good, eating healthy, taking care of themselves, really just getting back in touch with oneself. And I feel like that's a part of this process for you. Ultimately, with the 3 cards of advice at the end here, pile number 3, that there is an invitation for you to invest in the self, and that once you are shored up and asking for help here, because you could be on the giving or receiving end with the 6 always. This is a reminder not to burn yourself out if you are giving a lot, okay? And it's also a reminder to ask for help when you need it. Now, shore yourself up and then step into the Empress energy. This is being in the flow in your own life. You don't have to chase things. Things come, things are drawn to you as you get in touch with your part, like your inner world here, and like you are taking care of yourself and feeling so much better. Things will come your way. You won't have to work so hard. You won't have to chase anything. You know, whatever it is that you choose to invest your time and energy into is going to grow. This is an invitation to be very creative. Allow your creative energy to help feed back into you so you can build yourself up. This isn't just about money, ever. It's never just about money. This is about feeling good, you know, nurturing the self as well. Okay, a lot of very rich cards here in your spread, pile number 3. I really, really like this for you. So let us see, because there was a theme here of surrender with the devil energy, the letting go, the walking away, you know, and even with the hangman here, more surrender. So I'm going to pick a card from the surrender. Yeah, it's just a card, just a deck of the oracle card of surrender here. Surrender comparisons with other people. Yep. I think that's what came in here with this 4 of Cups. Okay. Negative self-talk. Surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Yes. Very, very good. Okay, pile number 3, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate your time. And if this video spoke to you and you'd like to support the channel, please, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.